Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and this is Taking Care of Business. Joining me today is Ernie Tsu, who is president of the Alberta Hospitality Association and owner of Trolley 5 in Calgary. Thanks for joining us today, Ernie.
Thanks for having me again, Mario.
Well, it's been an interesting time for the industry. Let me just ask, currently in Alberta, what are the major restrictions and public health measures that you as an industry have to deal with right now?
Well, currently in Alberta right now, there's no liquor service after 11 o'clock, and all guests must be out of the building by 12:30. Yeah, that would be the main restrictions. Of course, obviously, the other ones are all guests must be wearing masks when entering the building, and all guests must remain seated, and when not seated, they have to be wearing masks when moving throughout the building.
So what has been the current situation for the industry in terms of the spread of the Omicron variant? How has that impacted, say sales and traffic in the past month or so?
Well, sales and traffic have definitely been, those revenues have definitely been taken away from some of the newer locations that opened up just in the last 2 months. We look at Whiskey Rose here on 17th Avenue, a Nashville style bar that opened up, and their sales have been depleted by almost 60% after that 11 o'clock mark. The Omicron itself, this strain, the damage that it is doing right now is in an industry that is already short of staff. It is now taking away even more, manpower that is much needed to keep the doors open. With restaurants doing the right thing right now, like restaurants are doing their own contact tracing. So if they have a staff member that has come in close contact, you've seen a number of restaurants make the move to have those staff isolate for, now 5 days, to ensure that their staff are protected as well as the public.
You mentioned the issues with staffing, and this has been an issue here for a little while now in the industry. How bad is it in terms of finding staff these days?
Well, fortunately, in January, February, we've started to see more people start to apply for jobs. But that being said, due to the Omicron and the isolation periods, that's leaving a lot of restaurants short-staffed right now.
Yeah. What is it going to take, I guess, to attract people to the industry, considering all, the ups and downs the industry has had? It's tough to recruit talent, isn't it?
Well, I would say, for our industry, it's that reminder to everyone about being able to have a very flexible schedule to make, very decent money, when the industry is whole without any restrictions. And then more importantly, giving that flexibility, to take time off when needed, to go on traveling vacations or what have you. Our industry has always been able to supply that flexibility while supplying a very good income.
Yeah. Well, you've heard, Ernie, what's happened in Ontario and Quebec, much stricter, public health measures in place there, particularly when it comes to the hospitality industry. Are there concerns here in Alberta that, we are going to follow suit at some point and adopt some of those measures that we're seeing in Ontario, like no in-dining, for instance, as one example?
Well, there's massive concern. Obviously, our industry cannot continue to keep going through full closures. But what we have seen in Ontario and Quebec is both of those provinces have stepped up with pretty heavy subsidies for the industry, which still leaves the industry on the brink of, mass closures, regardless of the subsidies. Here in Alberta, we would need to see strong subsidies coming from this government should we go into similar measures, which, for our industry, we're still wondering where is the science in terms of what is the benchmark for hospitalizations for our industry to have to close. And this has been our ask. Throughout this whole pandemic is, what is the benchmarks? What are the goalposts that create these restrictions for our industry or any industry, from there?
Yeah, exactly. You know what, when you look at, we're coming on to 2 years here of dealing with this, lots of ups and downs, closures, openings, restrictions, etc. When this is all said and done, what do you think the survival rate is going to be in your industry for restaurants and pubs?
Yeah, we plan to meet with Canada Restaurants as well, but I know here in Alberta, we'll probably see another, over the course of these 2 years, we've seen at least 25% of our industry have to close. And out of the 25%, these are long-standing, a lot of them are long-standing restaurants that have been open for longer than 5 years. So these are not like flash in the pan restaurants
Yeah.
that opened, didn't have great conceptual marks, and then had to close. These are restaurants that have been ingrained in the community that they're in, and it's terrible to see that this is happening all over again.
Yeah. Have you been getting any, as an association, or even as business owner, have you been getting any signals from the government of what's coming next, or if anything's coming next?
We never, I mean, in our meetings with government, we never really get too many signals. I mean, their ask is always watch the daily case counts and watch the hospitalizations, but they also base it on, they're not really sure what this variant is going to do as well. So, our association is keeping a very close eye on what's happening in other provinces, and from there, we have to brace for impact.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ernie, thanks a lot for joining us again today.
Cheers. Thanks so much, Mario.
All right,
Happy
that
New
was
Year
Ernie
to you.
Tsu, who is president of the Alberta Hospitality Association and owner of Trolley 5 in Calgary. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.